Amid the silent snowfall of Yellowstone's backcountry, Dr. Thomas stopped in his tracks. There, in the middle of a clearing, surrounded by frost-covered pines, stood a mother bear, towering, trembling, and doing the impossible. She rose fully onto her hind legs, her massive front paws pressed together, almost like human hands, pleading with him to save her cub. For more than 3 decades, Thomas had studied wildlife across these mountains. At 60, his face was weathered by cold winds, his skin marked by years in the field. He thought nothing in the wild could surprise him anymore. He had seen bears at their fiercest and at their most fragile, but this silent plea tightened his chest in a way no textbook had ever prepared him for. Snowflakes drifted through the still air. The frozen ground crunched beneath his boots. Every instinct told him, don't move too fast. Behind the bear lay the source of her desperation. A cub, barely weeks old, sprawled weakly in the snow. Its soft brown fur dusted with frost, one hind leg bent at an unnatural angle. The tiny chest rose and fell in shallow, uneven breaths. This story touched millions of hearts. If it touched yours, let us know with a like, comment yes, and subscribe or follow for more amazing stories like this. Back to the story. Thomas's breath caught. The weight of the moment pressed on him heavier than the icy air. The bear dropped down for a moment, lowering her great head to nuzzle the cub with a trembling lick. Then, knowing this was her only chance, she rose again. Her massive frame shook as she balanced on her hind legs, paws still pressed together in that desperate prayer. Her wide, dark eyes locked on his, not wild, not fierce, just pleading. Slowly, Thomas sank to his knees. "It's all right," he whispered, though his own voice trembled. His rough, frost-stained hand stretched out slightly, palm open, showing he meant no harm. The bear didn't growl, she didn't lunge. She simply held that impossible pose for one last heartbeat, then dropped down and stepped aside, revealing the injured cub. Thomas crawled closer, each movement measured. The cub let out the faintest whimper, not fear, just pain. As his hands hovered over its fragile body, the mother bear lowered her massive head beside his shoulder, close enough that he could hear the low, trembling breath leaving her throat. It wasn't a growl. It was surrender. It was trust. His fingers shook as he opened his field kit. With careful hands, he wrapped the tiny leg, steadying the fragile body. Each turn of the cloth felt like a promise he couldn't break. When he lifted the cub into his arms, it was feather-light, its small body pressed against his chest. He rose slowly, snow crunching beneath his boots, and looked at the mother bear. For a long moment, neither of them moved. Then, silently, she stepped forward and pressed her massive head against the arm that held her cub. Not a threat, not dominance, but gratitude. Hours later, as the jeep rumbled down the snowy track, the cub safe in the back, Thomas glanced into the mirror. The mother bear was still there, standing at the edge of the clearing framed by the pale winter sun, watching him, watching the trail of snow his tires left behind. If you ever walk the frozen forests of Yellowstone, you may hear nothing but wind and silence. But somewhere out there, beneath the falling snow, a mother once begged and a man chose to listen. Sometimes the wild doesn't speak with teeth or thunder. Sometimes it kneels and waits for someone to care. Soft pause. If this story touched your heart, don't just scroll away. Hit that subscribe button to join a family where love knows no species. Leave a comment below because we'd love to hear how this moment made you feel. And if you believe love can cross all boundaries, repost or share this with someone who needs to see it.